At Enthuse, we worked with charities on some really exciting virtual and hybrid projects. Using tools such as Strava, virtual maps, and leaderboards, charities were able to maintain some form of communication with their supporters. So Hannah, why did you come to the decision to switch to digital and hybrid fundraising solutions, and how did you navigate this move?
So 13 Bridges Challenge is scheduled for kind of the middle of June. And at that time period, the kind of government's guidelines, the COVID roadmap at the time, was that it would fall in a period where outdoor events could happen with limited amount of people. However, as we've mentioned before, things can change so quickly. You know, deadlines can get pushed back, dates can change. So we really wanted to make sure that the event that we were planning for could really be changed at the drop of a pin. So if the dates were pushed back and the event was not able to happen in person, we wanted to make sure that we could really easily transfer people onto the virtual version of the event and that they'd still have an amazing experience. So before the event, we sent out kind of our booklets to everyone, which had the QR codes for engagement, pieces of information about the bridges, all of that kind of stuff. So them having that beforehand really made it kind of easy if we did need to swap everyone onto the virtual options, you know, quite quickly. And we wanted to make sure that there was also an option for people who might not be comfortable walking in big groups at the time, even though, you know, it was allowed, there were still people that might not have wanted to do that. And having the kind of virtual options where people could walk in their local areas instead of travelling to London really made that a great opportunity for a lot of different kind of groups to get involved. We saw a lot of our corporate teams take up that option as well, kind of walking around, you know, where they're based. So it made it a great option for people that might not be based in London or not able to travel to London as well.
But from a logistical perspective, you're having to engage with a large number of your supporters in a brand new way. So we have put together a couple of top tips here, which you should definitely take into consideration if you're planning a hybrid event. So first of all, create an effective email campaign and ensure that it's tailored differently for your virtual and your physical supporters. We're going to touch on that a little bit later. Sharing case studies, including images and videos of individuals that the charity has supported, is always a great thing. Just reminding those supporters exactly how important their efforts are. Create a bit of healthy competition among your participants. I think everyone agrees that that is always a good way to get people engaged with your event. Entuse's Strava integration and leaderboard is perfect for this. Then everyone loves a bit of stash. Provide t-shirts for your participants and reward them with medals at the end. Obviously, if budgets don't kind of allow this, you can always offer virtual medals. And also, you know, nice certificates and thank you letters, things like that. Hannah, I think that you did a bit of that, didn't you?
Yeah, so we had our t-shirts and water bottles that we sent out to people before the event to use on the day with the brochure. And then, you know, physical people at the end got their medal, and the people that completed it virtually got their medal sent to them after the event as well, which they loved.
So Hannah, did you see an increase in your supporters when you started using digital tools? And were they new types of supporters?
Yeah, we did. We saw a huge increase as well, specifically for the 13 Bridges Challenge. It just made it, you know, so much more accessible, and the digital tools make events a lot more available to people that, you know, might not be based in the location of the event. So we do try and obviously make sure that a lot of our events are not London centric, where, you know, this one, our 13 Bridges Challenge, is based in London. So the virtual options and the digital options really made it more applicable for our regional supporters to get involved. You know, as a military charity, we have supporters wherever the military are based, so all over the country and also overseas. So it really kind of made it possible for those people to get involved. And as I mentioned before, our corporate teams could get involved where their kind of head offices were based if that wasn't in London. And I think there is still, you know, a huge potential for growth in this area as well. And I think we will continue to see hybrid events and digital events being used a lot more to gain kind of new supporters in these areas that, you know, we might not previously have been able to reach quite so easily.
Fantastic. I mean, you know, having hybrid events, that really does allow international involvement, which is which is definitely a great move.
Our physical supporters will kind of be with us on the day, and our virtual supporters, we want to make sure that we can keep up that engagement using kind of new tools, which we found really useful using Enthuse. So the kind of leaderboard and the Strava functionalities of Enthuse really kind of helped our supporters to feel engaged and feel part of the community. You know, people wanted to put their miles on their Strava. You know, people wanted to see themselves raise up the leaderboard and you know, try and engage and compete with people. So it really kind of created new opportunities for us to be able to use those kind of tools in a new way to kind of engage those people. Also really important then, as we can see from the slides up, that it does come back in and that they receive the same kind of supporter journey once they've completed the event to make it feel as an event as a whole. So everyone kind of got the congratulations email after the event, the feedback survey, and the people that didn't get their medal on the day, so the physical supporters on the day, the virtual people obviously got theirs sent out with their thank you letter, so that they feel, you know, included in the community all the way up until the end.